Yo, what's going on, guys? It is another Friday, which means another G.I. Joe unboxing. I've been thinking about which ones to unbox. Finally decided next 3. Big Bull. Looks insane. So we got the pictures. Firefly. Honestly, this, besides Storm Shadow, this is one of my favorite Cobra Officers. And another of my favorite Cobra Officers, Scrap Iron. Look at this. Helmet, gun, remote, little tank, explosives. This is insane. Firefly comes with his night goggles, backpack, gun, pistol, detonator, 2 landmines, a knife, and a little explosive RV. So why did I choose these 3? Simply put, if you look at Cobra's other officers, they have troops that follow them. Crystal Ball. Now we have the Diretech characters following him. We have Raptor, which is basically the air command of a trooper besides Wild Weasel. Storm Shadow was the led the Cobra Ninjas into battle. Slice and Dice, as well as Night Creeper Leader, leads the newer version of the Cobra Ninjas into battle. Major Blood technically was the mercenary, but at the end of the day, he was the head of the troops. Tomax and Zaymot lead the Crimson Guard. Big Boy is an officer, but he trained the troops. He didn't lead them. Firefly, again an officer, but he didn't have any troops below of him. Scrap Iron, again, is an officer, but at the end of the day, the only troops that really followed him was the bats that he created. But I do hope that they create more scientists, because that would be a big boost for Cobra. I don't know if I have room. You know, we'll figure this out. But for now, let's get into this. It's one of the newer boxes, I would say. Comes with the background. So he comes with 2 dumbbells. I'm pretty sure this is 90. So if you guys don't know the story of Big Bull, the original trainer was supposed to be Rocky Balboa. Unfortunately, the studios behind Rocky didn't want him portrayed as a villain. So then they created Big Bull, as his replacement. Literally the same body type, same sport. Kind of the same look. Because they already started with the making the toy and literally had the body frame done for it, the prototype. So they basically put a mask on him, put some new outfits, and made him an entirely new character. And if you have the G.I. Joe Order to Battle, you see that Rocky Balboa is now the trainer of G.I. Joe. Which kind of sucks, because now G.I. Joe has Sergeant Slaughter, Rocky Balboa, and William the Refrigerator Perry. And Cobra has nobody. However, they also put in Rowdy Piper to train the Iron Grenadiers. So it's pretty crazy. Honestly, I don't know who I would put as a Cobra trainer from real life sports. Hopefully it's somebody who doesn't mind being a bad guy. But, I mean, it looks insane. I had the original toy. Instead of weights, they came with a punching bag. There was no way to take off the gloves or the head. So he was basically stuck like this. Which to me was fine. But it is a pretty cool option. To have the ability to switch out the hands. To literally have him have a gun. I mean, he doesn't need one, but the ability to actually have him hold a gun as a trainer is pretty awesome. So you do have this insane artwork for Firefly. You have the knife holder, the pistol holder, these are the night goggles, which kind of changes his appearance. I've always been a fan of his mask. We have the knife. sometimes I like the fact that you can build guns. Sometimes. So we have something there. Guessing the landmines go on the backpack. Which is an interesting place. I really don't think this has a place. And neither does this. Oh, I think this goes onto the bottom of the backpack. That's pretty cool. Truthfully, we gotta fight a little bit to get the detonator into his grip. I think my biggest problem is the legs. But so they've made 2 different Fireflies, and honestly, the first one made sense, but this one looks so much better. It brings me back to when I was a kid. Like I said, Firefly is my favorite, or besides Storm Shadow, Firefly is one of my favorite Cobra Officers. So I do still have the other Firefly. I'm going to keep that Firefly. That's insane. Look at the size of that picture. Look at this thing. You can kind of feel the treads being rubber. So if you remember the original toy, he had this, but it had 3 legs. And without the legs, there was a peg that you could attach to his back. But this thing is freaking amazing. I definitely like that it's now a drone. So the like Fireflies, the vest is not attached to him, which is insane. I love the burnt aspect. The original toy, you could not take off the helmet. So we got 2 firing things. Two missiles, blast effects. Even more blast effects. A handgun. His helmet. Oop. And a little remote for his tank. And then the missiles. Laser guided missiles. Holy crap. This is insane. I would have rather have the bag, but the weights are pretty cool. Literally, that is insane. Big Bull looks great. Firefly, you know, I've been waiting for the retro version. But that looks insane. I'm good with that. And he is smaller than Big Bull. look at scrap iron. I think the helmet would have been better if the helmet was that color, blue, instead of black. But this mini tank is insane. And all the blast effects that come with it. My God. So, my biggest thing is definitely the color for scrap iron. If the reds matched, and if that was that blue, this character would be so much perfect. As a Firefly fan, I mean, I'm in love with this character. Holy crap. They definitely did an insane job. Big Boy looks... his size looks intimidating. Holy crap. Bolt scrap iron. Well, I mean, technically these three are old. I mean, Firefly is probably... So the newest is probably Big Boa. Firefly is newer than scrap iron. Well, this version. We still got the silencer. We still have the night vision goggles, which I hate. This thing is a walking menace. I may decide to just put this up on display while he's with the characters. So I have room for one more character. Man, what the hell? So yeah, we'll put it up there for now. Technically, I wonder if it would fit. Give me a sec. So it does fit. And because it's remote controlled, it can be literally anywhere. Scrap iron doesn't have to be part of it. So the biggest problem is definitely him standing. I think I can put Overkill there. He does lead the bats, but figured that would be the best place. Scrap iron creates them and Overkill leads them. Again, leaves a couple room for 2 more Iron Grenadiers, the ninjas. So next week, Slice and Dice and Storm Shadow, Raptor and Crystal Ball. Zema Tomax, possibly. with Major Blood. Mindbender, Baroness, Destro, Cobra Commander. I might hold off on the Destro until the Iron Grenadiers Destro comes in. And a big spot for Serpentor, Nemesis Immortal in the back with Pythona, the Royal Guards, and hopefully enough room for Globulus. But definitely like how this is turning out. Can't wait to see how this looks finished. Yeah, unfortunately, Fiona took up a pretty big spot. Once this is done, we're going to open up the vamp, switch over to Star Wars, try and unbox all the Sith. By that time, all of this should be finished. Everything should be pretty on schedule. So next week, Jackalman, Monkeyan, and the Ninjas. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Take care. Talk to you guys soon. Be safe. Stay dry. Aloha.